3rd, which is just 2 days after the big solar eclipse spectacle across the heartland of America, FEMA and other government agencies are going to conduct an exercise called EX 2017. This is a joint exercise by the federal government to make preparations in anticipation of mass power outages across the United States, which would occur as a result of a black sky event that would bring society to its knees. So what exactly do they mean by the term black sky event? I've provided a link in the description area under the video title which explains this exercise in more detail. But something is up here that is difficult to point a finger at. This would be a catastrophe possibly caused by human intervention, but most likely one that entails natural elements. In other words, a horrific event that would be considered to be outside the realm of human influence.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, the United States infrastructure is in disarray. It's in desperate need of major improvements, especially when it comes to the electrical grid. Virtually every business and institution relies on computer-generated technology to keep things organized and running smoothly. Without power, everything, including food supplies and fuel, would come to a complete standstill for months, maybe even years. Therefore, all organizations and institutions would need to be prepared for long-duration power outages. This type of event is all too plausible, which could be caused by a disaster that we see play out in films and documentaries.
Yep.
This type of event could also be implemented by organized groups that wish to do us great harm.
Yep. And it ain't something that
The biggest
you need
question
to
that
fear.
arises from this type of
See,
scenario
because serious
is
false
why the federal
evidence
government has
appearing
been
real.
so slow to address the
And all
need
I can say
for
to you is
infrastructure.
what's really real
What is the real
what the
reason
truth
why
is
they
in
refuse to
you
address this
to
problem?
know.
Some believe
You was
it has
born
to
here
do with
not
something
knowing nothing.
unimaginable that is anticipated to occur in our immediate future.
The way that
Thus
all
eliminating
that
any
is
urgency
to be
to
is
develop and
in
improve
us
the
to
nation's
know
infrastructure.
is the reason why
This is one thought that
everything
certainly is
goes.
in the realm of possibility.
Because the Creator is love
What's so
unconditionally.
odd
The
with
feeling
respect to
that
the nature
is
of this
going to be
government exercise
from
has to do
being
with its
created
timing,
to
occurring
us
just
being
days after a
created, the
major
greatest
solar eclipse
creations
phenomenon.
of all to be in.
Is there something they are hiding? Or is it
Destroy
just a
everything.
coincidence? Whatever
Why
the
do you
reason,
think there's
it can't
dead
be
planets?
anything good.
There's dead planets
But
because
like with
we are the
everything else
reason
that
why
is
they
odd
are
and
dead.
unprecedented, if it means something significant, time will tell. Because in time, all will be revealed. Which then puts Planet X squarely in the mix of possible reasons for the urgent need to conduct catastrophic disaster exercises that have the potential to affect the entire nation. It certainly is food for thought. The arrival of Planet X and the Nibiru Nemesis system introduces a series of implications that are not fully understood by the general
Once
public.
again, I
This
say to
requires an
you,
in-depth explanation if we are going to get to
for
the bottom
you
of
to
what is going on
believe
here
in
on planet Earth.
what you believe
Have
in,
you heard of Operation
and not
Indigo
know
Skyfall?
that was taught to
Probably
you to
not if
believe
you are
in.
among the many individuals who
For you
primarily
not
get
to
their
really
news
know
information from media
what the truth
organizations
is
that are owned
within
and operated by
you,
multi-billion-dollar
the conscious
corporations.
thinking human
But as
living
it
here,
turns out,
consciously
Indigo
thinking,
Skyfold is the
knowing that
secret
there's a
covert
creator,
black
but
operation
knowing that the
in
creator
world history.
is in you
It
to
is
be
the
a
jewel
creator
of all
too.
black
That's what
operations,
makes it so
and its
divine
purpose is actually
of the
threefold:
creator being a part
to
of
control
your
weather,
body and soul,
to
but
implement
not,
warfare, and
I
to
repeat,
cover up the
but
existence
not
of a second sun in our solar
be
system.
a hypocrite when the
The
divine
operation
gives
was
you
specifically designed
life,
to
gives you
accomplish the latter
free
of the
will,
three
give you
by the
the
use of
choices,
aerosol
give
spray
you
during
the
sunset
control
and sunrise,
over
which are the most available times
love
of the day in
and
which
hate.
to observe the Nibiru system. The operation itself is concentrated in highly populated areas. So, if you are situated close to an urban area, look towards the sun, and you will more likely than not see and recognize what I'm speaking of. Chemtrails, as they are referred to, consist primarily of the following chemicals: selenium, aluminum, thorium, and
I say
barium.
again,
Processed
I'm not going to get all spiffed up.
and ionized
I'm not going to get all pretty.
charge.
I'm not going to shave
Now,
my
this
face.
operation is
Because right now, we live in some rural times,
so the
people.
pilots that are involved
The truth
in the process
is the truth.
are informed
And only
that
one
the
way
procedure
is straight.
being initiated
And that's the
as
way
a
that your
global
heart
warming
beats
greenhouse
with
gas
that magnetic
mitigation
rotational
strategy.
pull of this
So in
earth, pulling
essence,
you
the pilots
from
are
today
instructed to follow
into
orders in a
tomorrow.
procedure
But knowing
that has
the truth
earmarking
is
of a
in you
don't ask,
to come
don't
out
tell
of
policy.
you, the individual
This is how the
human living here.
intelligence community
The
operates
loving
on a need-to-know
creator,
basis.
love unconditionally the
Restricting
feeling
knowledge of
is
an
in
operation
each
to just
and
a handful
every
of select
creation
people
that
who are then
lives.
responsible for the implementation of a number
But we've
of
been
black
bullshitted.
operations,
If I
such
told
as
some
the
bullshit,
destruction of deep
that's
underground
not the truth.
bunkers, where they have access to special contractors for their top secret purposes. Another sinister purpose that involves chemtrailing, which is controversial, is its use by HAARP to create weather modification as a military tool. HAARP is a system that transmits microwaves into the ionosphere and our atmosphere to move jet streams from their normal positions, which in turn changes weather patterns. It can be labeled as a means to create warfare with enemy countries by producing severe drought and floods in designated areas. What is so disturbing about
It might mainly work government
is
contracts,
that
but
there are
that doesn't
so
make
many
Merryweather
people
Security
who have no
even
knowledge
nearly the
that
good
this is
guys.
happening.
Not like us.
Simply because
You've got the green light to
there are too many
resupply with some
distractions that
railguns
keep
they've got at
people
Humane
glued
Labs.
to mundane
Take what you can and go back to the
rather
base.
than what is really important for us to know and understand. If we were to focus our attention on important happenings around the world, we would develop a better sense of how our planet is changing, giving us a head start on preparing ourselves for the changes that are coming upon the earth. This is what I have attempted to instill in those who watch our video presentations, as many of you have indicated that you are now paying closer attention to the changes that are now taking place. To illustrate my hypothesis about the Earth changes taking place,
I'm just,
let's
all I'm doing
examine
is
the
just going
recent
through
Earth
it,
events that
listen to some of the
transpired
things
in the
that some
last few
people are
months.
saying, and spreading
Last
some of the
summer,
truth to
a
you.
massive earthquake and a series of large magnitude aftershocks devastated numerous towns in central Italy. The question that is often posed is whether this disaster was related to Planet X getting closer or just another normal Earth event. If you inject my hypothesis into the equation, you are always going to have a number of naysayers and skeptics who will scoff at the notion of a Planet X coffin, because to them it does not exist, except in the mind of those who know and understand. Yet the scope of the earthquake in Italy was unprecedented, as this raw drone footage describes.
When you think about it, people, why would somebody make a lie so horrific? In order to control people, is to control what they believe and fear. To give you a guidance of Jesus. Is to give you stability, but to lie to you about it is to give you some bullshit. When I know you would rather know the truth. Guarantee you could know what tell you the truth. Like I know the truth. and what they believe in. The truth is, I can break it down to the lowest denominator, knowing I ain't reading no bullshit that somebody else wrote.
In the wake of this
that they was thinking,
we have witnessed
or
a series of
they said that
powerful
they experienced.
in Indonesia,
See, I can explain to you my whole
Chile,
experience
and the Pacific Islands.
in being with the Creator, to being
And
back
again,
here,
I ask,
to knowing the
is
truth,
this
to tell
the
you the
result
truth, to
of
be able to explain the truth to you
or just a
in detail. And
Take
not
a
be able to
look
read
at
or
this
write.
chart of the magnitude of earthquakes in 2016. A pattern of the number and intensity of the
And to know
earthquakes
that people lie,
is developing in
numbers
the
don't.
last decade. As investigators and observers, the best way to tell when things seem abnormal on the planet is to monitor the weather. I am certain from all of my many years of observation that our planet is in the grasp of a severe wobble, which in turn has a profound effect on our weather. With all of the mysteries surrounding the Planet X Nibiru system and the influx of confusing misinformation, it is difficult to predict an arrival time frame. So the only thing left for us to do is to prepare by monitoring the world's erratic weather and the number and magnitude of Earth changes now taking place. The more extreme these events become, will give us a better indication of how close Planet X Nibiru is moving
wants to
toward
see
Earth.
it's going to happen. The man don't
One
know
of the
shit.
best indicators of its
Man
arrival
the
is
bullshit
to
that he
observe the
believes
number
in.
of meteors passing Earth
That's the
or
truth.
the frequency of them hitting Earth's surface as meteorites. There is also the concern about new censorship on matters pertaining to our general safety and security. Do you recall the most recent mainstream media report on the discovery of Planet 9 in January of 2016? It was all over the news at that
You
time.
can't put nothing past them.
Well, in case you
And all
haven't
the secrets
noticed,
that they
the
got,
story has
and they
died
been
a
hiding
sudden
from
death.
us.
They rather have you focused on politics, terror attacks, and anything that will distract your attention away from what you should be focused on, which is your survival, which, according to a number of prognosticators, could be later this year. But of course, we have heard that before. Nevertheless, something disconcerting is happening on planet Earth and with the planets of our solar system. And it will be in our own best interest to keep our eyes open and better prepared if and when things begin to go south. The Nibiru Nemesis system is closing in on Earth. And evidence suggests that Nibiru and its adjoining moon are the red and blue Kachina, just as the Hopi Indian nation had described it in its prophecy, and also in their address to the United Nations towards the end of the 20th century. Its meaning is as powerful today as it was back then.
You fucking idiot! Let's finish this! The shelter's buddy! Find somewhere safe! You're dead! You piece of shit! Reloading here!
Is the blue Kachina of Hopi prophecy coming to fruition? There have been recent sightings of its presence in the sky. These images of what looks to be an exoplanet photographed over Perth, Western Australia.
Like I said again, it is what it is, and I like stuff like this.
I did the whole thing myself, 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now. Disgusting what's going on. And then as you guys know too, we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unreal. So if you can get more than that dream of everybody giving $1, that old video is not working. They're not. They're just not. So anyways, if you can get more than that, that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is getting. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can get more than that, that would be great. Here again, like I said, the free there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but it's there again. It's very, very low. And like I said, I'm not. I don't want to do this. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's still so stinking frustrating. That I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on Wheel Affairs website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, it is very, very serious. We're into a federal case, 19 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We have 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now, where just to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Mind-blowing what they did. It takes him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff in the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran after, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge pounds. And then he also ran on no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife's saying, yes, I can. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, for 3,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I don't say anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, there again, like I'm letting you guys know, way what I'm doing is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. The federal court, just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He's a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 can. So keep that in mind. This new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can get more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.
officers at the center of two very controversial incidents. In the case that dates back to March, Officer Matthew Rhodes, the officer who shot and killed Luke Stewart, is now being pulled from the streets to work a desk job as the case heads to the grand jury.
Meantime, Officer Michael Amiot seen punching a driver after a traffic stop less than 2 weeks ago. He'll now be suspended for 15 days. And tonight, the investigator Tom Meyer uncovers new video showing another use of force case involving Officer Amiot. Tom, this exclusive video is the third accusation against this one officer?
Well, that's right, Chris. Officer Amiot is once again caught on camera resorting to force, this time involving a 16-year-old girl at the public library. Amiot was working off-duty security in full police uniform when things quickly escalated. It's another controversial case involving Euclid police officer Michael Amiot. The new case began when 3 teenagers tried to walk inside the Euclid library about an hour before the library allows juveniles to enter without an adult. Amiot was working security at the front door. In his report, Amiot said the kids pulled the door and held it open. Amiot ordered one girl to let go of the door and leave. Amiot said the same girl dropped the F-bomb when he approached to take her to an inside office to make a report. He says the girl resisted, so he took her down to the ground and cuffed her hands behind her back.
You cannot touch me!
Once inside, a fellow Euclid officer arrives with his body camera rolling. This is what happens when they try to retrieve the girl's ID from her backpack. The 16-year-old was already in handcuffs and Amiot took her down to the ground face first for a second time. He then restrained her by placing his knee on her back. The teenager was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
This fucking bullshit. That's the law's bullshit. All this shit some bullshit.
Amiot met with adult men. One involved Sean George, a Euclid City recreation manager. George was asking Amiot and another officer about a teenager they had detained on the ground. George says his questions seemed to aggravate Amiot, and the officer suddenly turned violent.
I was slamming him up against the car. He slammed me on the ground, face first, got on my back, and then pepper sprayed me 3 times.
Take it away from me. Less than 2 weeks later, Amiot slammed Richard Hubbard to the ground and repeatedly punched him when the motorist apparently failed to turn around as quickly as Amiot wanted. Amiot is seen kicking and pummeling Hubbard. Amiot told Benner police he liked, quote, the danger and thrill of being a cop. He was forced to resign after just 9 months on the
Resign?
In the case of the 16-year-old girl, the police report says a use of force form was completed. But when Channel 3 News asked more than a week ago for all use of force reports involving Amiot, we never received the one involving the teenage girl.
Wow.
Well, we've reached out to Euclid Chief Scott Meyer, wanting to know what, if anything, was done regarding the arrest of the girl at the library. We also want to know why Euclid hired Amiot after Minner wanted to fire him. The chief has yet to return our calls. The county prosecutor says they've met with the U.S. Department of Justice, and there's an investigation that's ongoing. Chris will see where it goes.
But the very latest tonight is he still has his job with a 15-day unpaid suspension.
That's correct. Okay.
Wow. How fair is that? That's bullshit.
Cop who beat man in viral video, caught on video again attacking handcuffed teen girl. The Ohio cop who was seen beating a man over a suspended license is seen in a new video, this time, attacking a handcuffed teen girl. By Matt Agarist, August 24, 2017. Euclid OH. The Euclid Police Department is receiving some much-deserved attention this month after a viral video showed a police officer savagely beating a man who was in no way a threat, or resisting. Officer Michael Amiot was suspended this week for repeatedly punching Richard Hubbard in the face over a suspended license. However, as a newly released body cam video shows, this violent cop's aggression is not limited to just defenseless men. He also beats up on handcuffed children. After Amiyat
and
was
somebody
seen
else
being
beat a
covered,
fucking kid, they
local
get
media
put in jail
attempted to
for
request
fucking
his
child
passage of
abuse.
force
Oh,
incidents.
fuck your system.
When the
Your
department
system
sent
is
them
a
over
piece of
last week,
shit.
they conveniently omitted any mention of the video below, which shows this officer assaulting a handcuffed
That's that
child
ain't
in
God
spite
we
of the
trust
report
system
mentioning
that
a
y'all
use
trust
of
so
force
much in
incident.
that God that y'all believe
However,
in.
WKYC was able to obtain it. Amiyat, who was allowed to resign from his old department amid a corruption scandal, was quickly hired on in 2014 with Euclid. He'd spent less than 1 year on the Mentor police force as a rookie before he was nearly fired for lying about a traffic stop he initiated. Instead of firing him, however, the Mentor department allowed him to resign and he simply hired on at Euclid shortly after. On his application to Mentor Police, Amiyat said he wanted to be a cop not because he wanted to help people but because he enjoyed the danger/thrill of law enforcement. Apparently, this abusive officer gets a thrill out of hurting defenseless handcuffed children.
Yep.
Advertisement. While working at the Euclid Public Library back in April, 2 girls tried to enter the library 1 hour before children are allowed to be there without parents. The horror. Read more. Video. Cops show up to protect a mother and father by beating them into the dirt. However, this seemingly harmless action was met with handcuffs and force by Amiyat, who apparently enjoys the thrill and danger of attacking high school girls.
Because I'm still tripping up.
According to Amiyat's report, which,
it's not possible
as
for me to
history
get a
shows,
videotape
could very well be all lies. The teens were outside the front door of the library causing a disturbance, particularly one 16-year-old girl.
Standing up for
I
my
told her
rights,
she
even
needed
though I
to come
can't
inside
stand
with
up
me.
because I'm in a
Amiyat
wheelchair.
noted in his report,
To show exactly
I was
how
going to take her
racist
in
walking
the
Package
office
received.
with
The team are going to work.
disorderly conduct
and
the
with how
library,
they
her
profile
information to
people who
review
come
to
in there
determine if her
shopping
library
in
access should
wheelchairs.
be restricted. I attempted to take her arm to escort her. She continually pulled away from me, saying,
and
"Get
put
the
in
expletive
jail
off of me."
behind some
Amiyat
bullshit.
for not
with
complying fast enough.
Harris County
Amiyat then
Sheriff
forced the
Department
16-year-old
police
girl to the ground and handcuffed her
excessive
before
force
bringing
and
her
hurting
into
me
the library to charge
by
her with
slamming me on the
disorderly
ground and
conduct.
shit.
The video
But
picks up
what
when
it is.
another officer arrives wearing a body camera.
We live in some
She
bullshit.
continued pulling away while shouting,
But a rabid
"Don't
dog
touch
police
me.
is
Get
rolling
the
and
expletive
running
off
shit.
me," Amiyat wrote. Apparently having enough back talk from a girl who was upset she couldn't walk into the library without being harassed by cops, Amiyat made his move to seek his thrill. He threw the young girl who was already in handcuffs onto the floor, while driving his knee into her back. The child is then forcibly searched as Amiyat maintains his 200 pounds of knee in her back. Read more. Police receive call about suicidal man, so they show up and kill him.
Damn.
While the video is still rolling, the teen's mother walks in to find her daughter forced down on the ground with Amiyat mounting her. Whether or not Amiyat
Can you
received
drive a
any
tank?
discipline for
I
this
hope so,
incident
because
is
that's how these
unclear, as
supplies
the
are
city
coming.
has not
Pick them
responded
up
to
and
requests.
bring them in, and the lab will handle the rest.
It is unlikely. Fast forward a few months, to just days before he was seen on another video beating Hubbard, and he beat an innocent recreation department worker as well. Sean George was entirely innocent and was only asking officers why they had a teen detained on the ground. According to George, that's when Amiyat snapped and began beating him. For asking Amiyat a question, George was thrown against the car, then thrown to the ground and pepper sprayed. Officer Michael Amiyat is the epitome of everything wrong with police in America. His smash some heads mentality has no place in keeping the peace, and all of his superiors who protected and hired him over the years are complicit in perpetuating the problem. When cops can attack handcuffed children, beat people for asking questions, and unleash a fury of fists on a man for a driving infraction all without being fired, something is horribly wrong.
Thank you.
This is why people are mad.
Because it's bullshit. Got all these rabid dog ass police on the police force, and the people on the police force that's not rabid dog ass police, you know who your rabid dogs are. So lay up there and put your rabid dogs either down or out. It is what it is. But to have them out and about terrorizing citizens, that's bullshit. And then you got your motherfucking rabid dog on judges, district attorneys, state of fucking officials. They just got rabid dogs just all over in that bullshit. And y'all rabid dogs know who I'm talking about. I don't fear y'all. Shit, I already know. One thing about life is when you know you're living. Shit, I know I'm living, baby. Cause I'm living straight, not just right. My documentary right across YouTube on some Grand Theft Auto. You heard me.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done... Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen. Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question? Okay.
This is him.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that have...
Yeah.
Can you just help me verify your birth?
12903 Brent Rock Drive.
And your date of birth?
1st 27, 1969.
Okay, thank you. The reason we're calling is just to find out if you evacuated the area or not. Are you going to stay home and ride out the storm?
Well, I ain't got no way to get nowhere out, and I say I appreciate the phone call, because I say to you, I thank you, because I never thought that Molina Healthcare cared about my health at all. And I'm just going to say that I appreciate the phone call, even though it's part of protocol. But I'm just saying, the truth is the truth.
Okay.
I'm at home.
And we're calling, are you staying alone or are you staying with family members?
I have my provider staying with me.
Your provider?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you know her or his name by any chance?
They got all that. Y'all got all that already.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure it was the correct one.
Okay. If you David Williams?
Williams?
Yeah. Indeed, yeah.
Okay. And she's she's not a family member, correct? She's just from the provider?
Right.
Okay. And the reason we're calling you is if you knew the numbers also what 211 is for.
Do I know what it's for?
Yes.
Some more bullshit?
No, 211.
Yeah, like you just said, some more bullshit. Because when I say that there, I say that just to say this. If you haven't been to the hospital in 3.5 years, and you explain to your doctors that you found the way that you take your medication to the point where you smart enough to realize what work and what don't work now, but they get upset because you start asking questions about what is the side effects of new medication you trying to try me on, when I'm explaining to you now that I took control over knowing what my body can and cannot take, what I can deal with and what I cannot deal with. And they get upset to the point where they take the medication the way that I need, because I'm a paraplegic, to end up having me go to the emergency room. Man, I ain't been there in 3 years. What the fuck am I want to go now for? So like I said again, y'all 211 is to call and say if somebody's abusing. They are abusing you guys, paying them for the bullshit that they doing to the people that they using just as guinea pigs with their medication and all the rest of their bullshit. So like I said,
I'm actually from El Paso, Texas. I've never used 211, and the number that they gave me, they told me what it was for. It was actually if you needed any medical supplies, food, water, that they would be able to assist you.
Oh, like I just told you just now, bullshit. You see, it ain't nothing but a big old, it ain't nothing but a big old racket to put you on the line with a whole bunch of animated on little systems saying, please hold if you want this department. See what I'm saying? See, right now, man, this is the world of nobody is connected as us being fucking people. We fucking sheeple. We are not in tune with us being the greatest creations of all for the creator to be in. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is, man, because the truth is the truth, and the truth is in you to come out of you. And I'm telling you that I actually gave up on life to know exactly what I'm telling you right now. You see what I'm saying? So like I said again, to be off of all that bullshit ass medication, to be on just marijuana, but not really being able to deal with the marijuana simply because I got a broken back. So the marijuana and the hydrocodone and my muscle relaxers took advantage of with the marijuana. I didn't have to take the Xanax. I didn't have to take I didn't have to take the blood pressure. I didn't have to take a whole bunch of different other medications. So therefore, when you realize what's going to work for you and the doctors are not for what's going to work for you, they work out for what's going to work for them so their pockets can get fat. But I'm just saying, I appreciate you calling, man, because like I said again, I'm at the point where I'm still at that same point. You just give me a little bit more that, hey, at least they're doing something. They're calling to see about some of their patients to see if they're getting out from the storm or whatever. But like I say again, I already know for a fact Molina Healthcare don't give a fuck about the motherfucking patient's health at all because we're nothing but a number and money to them. So like I said, I appreciate the phone call, man.
Okay, man. Well, if anybody knows your body, it's you. So.
Come on now, and like I said again, and it's like I said again, man, think about it. If you were to go see a psychiatrist because you're having a problem, and you tell a psychiatrist what your problem is that you're having, all that psychiatrist got to do is tell you your problem back to you backwards, and then you would think that the psychiatrist is doing something for you, when you should really sit there and think to yourself, why would the psychiatrist do something for you? Well, if the psychiatrist was to help you, you wouldn't have to come back to the psychiatrist no more. So what would motivate that psychiatrist to tell you the truth? Nothing. So like I'm just telling you what the facts are. And I can't read or write. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the truth is the truth.
I understand you.
I appreciate it, man.
Okay, you do know or you can call 911 at any time.
Now I'm going to say this one here, then I'm going to end it with that. I wouldn't call 911 to save my life. I call 911 to jeopardize probably yours, you see, because that'll be the right thing to do. That'll be the right thing to do. And it'd be the right thing to do, but the wrong thing to do. But I'm just saying. But for me to call them, for me, hell no, I wouldn't call them. What for? Because all I'm doing is getting a guess from them once I go in their ambulance to say that I have already called 911 before and got into it with the ambulance drivers, and they stopped the ambulance on the side of the road for more than 15 minutes and threatened me with bodily harm and incarceration in front of a police station after I called 911 because I was having a heart attack. So like I said again, man, why? Why would I call them? Why would I go to your emergency room after the last time I was in your emergency room 3 years ago? They told me I was HIV positive, and I went into a surgery that I probably didn't have to have. So why? I thank you, man. Oh, man, thanks, man. Come on, man. I just told you the truth is going on with me, man. Everything is better for me, man, because I ain't going to your hospital no more, man. Boy, I'm tickled to death. I appreciate you, bro. All right, yeah, you too. Shit. Peace. Shit, boy, I appreciate that phone call. The truth. Fuck all that bullshit. Man, I'm trying to tell you. Nah. I think my mission. I'm trying to do everything off, can't get nothing. Put this one.
By 30%. When you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife's been saying, yes, I can. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know,
but it don't work.
subscribers that it's not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month if you can. I appreciate
Yeah, because YouTube, everybody getting their cut before you get what you supposed to get, man. That's the thing about it. Everybody getting their cut before you get what you supposed to get.
There again, like I'm letting you guys know, way what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. It's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this truck cop. So there's another reason to give. We're going to be doing a deposition with this.
Meriwether Security Consulting. How can I help? Thank you. A helicopter has been dispatched to your area.
So bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So
We got your back.
And get way more than $1.10. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month is not worth it. So thanks. Thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.
Don't fuck with me! Oh no! Officer down! Give up!
Received a ticket from you guys over the north side.
Down. First. Lots of, I get it. You're more than welcome to not to the back. You're going to get a citation.
What's the code? What's the code? What? You're the officer that gave me the ticket. You cited me. What is it? What is it?
Boy, they must know the code. So how you hire these policemen and these bitches don't even must know the fucking shit that they supposed to know as being fucking officers of the fucking law. So how in the fuck can you have law if you don't have officers that know the fucking law? Fucking stupid ass bullshit. Yeah. This is me all the shit. I wish I could read, boy, man. Y'all just don't know how hard it is. I've been trying to learn, boy. Once I learn how to read and be able to write some shit down on paper, I'm gonna lay up there and write some shit down on paper and slide it to you, look you straight in your eye while you read it so I can see your facial expression. Once I realize that you see it, you understand it because you read better than y'all motherfucking do. type of shit they doing to motherfucking people. That's some fucking bullshit. And the judge with right along with them. All y'all bunch of bullshit. Especially this motherfucking bullshit I'm dealing with Walmart. Dealing with Walmart here in Harris County. Y'all can do me whatever y'all want to do with me. I'm telling the motherfucking truth on y'all lying pieces of shit. Y'all don't want none. I'm getting frosty. Bring it down. Bring it down. Let's go. Go. And you.
I asked him a question.
On one.
How do you like that? Oh, nobody hurt? You still can't do it. You're public streets. You can't do it. Nobody hurt me. It doesn't make a difference. You're in a public street. Public is public. Nothing. Right, it's public. You just can't touch it. It's not public. It's against the law. Well, we did. Okay. It's not against the law for him. Okay. It's not disorderly conduct for him. He's an idiot. He doesn't know the fact. Just don't ask him for it. 10 years old. That's what he's got to do. What's that? What's that? That's my face, now. You see, that's your butt down. Why don't you just say it's my face, huh? Why don't you make a move? Because you can't. Because you got it. Yeah. Because you're an idiot.
I am. My hand's behind my back. My hand's behind my back. Stop. I'm not resisting arrest.
You have never learned one thing in your life.
Don't care. Don't care.
You don't have to turn around. Dude, I can't. Turn around right now. Turn around right now. Turn around right now. Turn around right now. Stop, dude, I can't. My arms are behind my back, dude. Stop. Stop. Please. My arms are behind my back. Stop. Stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. Please. I am not. Please. No. Stop. I can't. I won't. Dude, you're shocking the shit out of me. Let's go to the taser, Perry. Will you stop shocking me? Stop shocking me. Let's go to the taser. Will you stop shocking me? Okay, let's go. On the ground, right now, don't you fucking move. You understand me? Don't you fucking move. Now you're in for it. Okay, you wanna fuck around with this without me. Okay? You done now? Stand up. Put your hand up. I can't breathe. I don't care.
I don't care. He just told the policeman that he can't breathe. The policeman told him he don't care. I don't care. He told the policeman he can't breathe. The policeman told him he don't care.
Package received. The team are going to work.
That's just like I had my shit rolling when I went to jail. And they cut my shit off. But I got some of it I put on YouTube too. I just want that tape from Walmart. Yep, my life is just, like I said, it is what it is. Let me see where, put some music on for y'all. Some of my music I make. All because they were putting copyrights on people's.
Okay, go get the supplies and bring them back in a usable condition.
Pick up where we left off at yesterday with Ray Hagen. Yeah, I ain't finished that deal.
This whole country would shut down. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, why did he do that? Follow this. Jimmy Carter, when Iran announced it was pulling his money out of the United States banks, Jimmy Carter declared a national emergency. And you know why he did that? Because the only way that he could freeze Iran's assets, we had to be in a national emergency. Y'all getting this picture now? You can't just go freeze somebody's assets. You have to be in a national emergency to do that. So now here, OPEC, not just Iran, but OPEC, period, is saying we're taking our money out of the United States. If they did that, this country would shut down. Everything would stop. Your lights would go, this whole country would shut down. And I'm going to tell you why the country would shut down. Because this country, is in debt to something called the Federal Reserve. I'll teach on that in another lecture in a couple of weeks. Help you understand that that green stuff you got in your pocket is not money. It's a note. It actually says it across the top. Federal Reserve note. I'll teach on that later. So, you understand, you can see how big oil controls big banks and how the two in concert will control the United States economy, and not only the economy, the elected leaders as well. Just for the sake of research, y'all don't have to take my word for what I'm saying. Write this down. Write this down. Write this word. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, see, how many of y'all remember Desert Storm? Okay. I don't know if y'all ever thought about it, but how in the world are we going to get oil from arid countries if we're at war with them?
Hello, this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help?
So what the United States did is they created this entity called Strategic
Thank you, sir. Your
Petroleum
spectacular
Reserve.
aircraft is
That
now ready
is
for
the
you on our
oil that
nearest
we
airfield.
have, or this country has, in reserve while the Arabs and us ain't getting along. While OPEC and us ain't getting along. So y'all understand what I'm saying? And of course the prices are very, very, very high. Because that's reserved. And we have to be careful how we use it. Write this down. Al Gore. Have y'all ever heard of him before? Al Gore and big oil companies. Go to the internet and look it up. Let me tell you what you're going to find right off the bat. The Gore family empire What I just said? See, people, it ain't about just Al Gore running for president. The Gore family empire holds about $500,000 worth of stock in this company called Occidental Petroleum Corporation. That's why Al Gore wanted to be president. Al Gore wanted to be president because if we had elected him president, yeah, he would say to all of these oil OPEC, y'all get out of here. I got my own oil company. Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion, referred to in 1700s, talked about this thing. In protocol number 2, it states, and I quote, the administrators, check this out, people, whom we shall choose from among the public, with strict regard to their capacities for servile obedience, will not be persons trained in the arts of government, and will therefore easily become pawns in our game in the hands of men of learning and genius who will be their advisors, specialists bred and reared from early childhood to rule the affairs of the world. That's protocol number 2 of the Protocols of Zion. How do they manage to get such control over the elected officials? Well, you got to understand something. There's an elite power group. Everybody say Committee of 300. I'm going to send y'all on a research project, okay? I'm going to send y'all on a research. Don't just let me take my word for this. Y'all go do what I did. Do some homework. Write that down. Committee of 300. Write it down. Pull it up and go read about them. Write down this word, Bilderbergers. Write down the Bilderbergers. Go see the influence of Bilderbergers. That's Bilderbergers. Council on Foreign Relations. Y'all ever hear that? Why y'all think they talking about sending Jesse over to talk to these people? You gotta understand something, brothers and sisters. Jesse Jackson is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. He's not just a black man. Somewhere along the line, he lost his focus for African liberation. There was a time when Jesse had an afro with a dashiki standing there talking about black power. Now he done became a member of their program. I pray to God.
Creator.
I pray to God prevent that from happening to me. I'm serious. I mean it. See, you know what happens? People like myself, what they do is they look into your background. And if you got any dirt in your closet, they come to you and say, listen, here's what we got on you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you either work for us and do what we want you to do, or we're going to expose you. If you don't have the dirt in your closet, you know what they do? Then they come to you and try to fire you. They come to you and offer you a cabinet position somewhere or an ambassadorship in some country that don't even exist. And walk around, see, that's what happened with Andy Young. I don't know if y'all remember this. See, as soon as they killed Martin Luther King, next thing they did was made Andrew Young an ambassador. Had to buy the man out. Members of this international power elite, the Trilateral Commission, the Illuminati, they have the power, brothers and sisters, to directly influence the federal and executive branch of government in ways that nobody else can even come close to. Yet George Bush's father got on television, talked about, I don't know what's going on. I just came to check on my son. I don't even realize.
All right then. That'll keep him busy on the floor.
Liar! Every time the boy gets ready to make a decision, he pick up the phone. Daddy? What do you think I should do, Daddy? Because he's carrying out his father's agenda. When he's dealing with his father Oval Office. Even politicians with the best intentions and the strongest of wills find themselves virtually helpless against the massive political influence of the financial banking cartels. The power elite are able to influence the federal government through three basic processes. I don't have time to go through all three of them, but the first one is called the candidate selection process. Now see, this is deep, people, because one of the reasons why I have a problem with voting personally is because they won't let me select who I want to run for president. They want to elect who they select. You understand what I'm saying? And as long as you don't have the power to select, but only to elect two of who they selected, you're still a slave. Does that make sense, people? In other words, what they do is they go select two of their boys. And they put both of their boys out here and say, all right, public, now y'all choose which one you want. What difference do it make? Both of them belong to you. The candidate selection process, though the members of the power elite attempt to influence the electoral campaigns by means of finances in the form of large campaign donations, that is the real entity that we have to contend with. In the political system of the United States, the emphasis of elections is not, follow me people, it's not the policies of the political party or the candidate, but the personal image and attributes of the individual candidates. For all intents and purposes, hear what I'm about to tell you. Go do your research, prove me wrong. But for all intents and purposes, the Democratic Party or the Republican Party doesn't even exist. That's just a lie to make the public think they got something to say with what's going on. You hear what I'm saying? One elitist says it this way. Spanish banker that I know from New Jersey. He says, the best form of government is to make people think they have a say in what's going on. Isn't that deep? Because if people think they have a say, they'll get more involved and support the program. That's the lie. That's the deception that they give us through what is called the voting process. There are only individuals, candidates and professionals, consultants, builders, so forth, contractors, doorbell ringers, media advisors, that's all they're concerned with. They're not concerned about somebody who really wants to come in and do the right thing. The reason why the American political system can be, in good part, dominated by the members of the power elite through large campaign contributions is because the candidate selection process in the American political system is so individualistic and therefore dependent upon name recognition and personal image. So big donors and big fundraisers are held. Y'all be surprised how much money Ronald Reagan made to become president of the United States. Y'all be surprised how much money George Bush made to become president of the United States. And of course, all this money is under what is called campaign contributions. For example, Ronald Reagan in 1966, just after he became governor of California, this company called 20th Century Fox. Y'all ever hear that before? It's a movie conglomerate. 20th Century Fox purchased several hundred acres of his land adjacent to their outdoor set in Malibu. Check this out now. They purchased several hundred acres of his land for $2.8 million. Triple what it was worth. Okay? What's really deep about it is right now to this day, that man ain't got nothing on but wild grass and trees. Never used the land. But it was money that went into his pocket $2.8 million for a piece of land they ain't doing nothing with. See, they had to give a reason for giving him that kind of money. So they say, we bought his land. And then they arranged it to where he got $20,000 per appearance just to go around and do speeches at different businesses. That's big money, y'all. Every time he went to speak at a dinner or a banquet, he got $20,000. Oh, come on, y'all. Shucks. I wish. Now you see why Jesse tried to run for president, don't you? Shucks. Making that kind of money. Ain't gonna let no black man have that kind of money, though, y'all. Then there's the special interest process. Let me close by going to this last point, the policy-making process, through which the general policies of the policy-making network, which includes organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations, are brought to the White House and Congress. The policy-making process is not as well known or studied as the other different processes used. It appears to be as detached from day-to-day events as special interest programs, completely immersed in them. It appears as concerned with fairness and the national interest as the special interest process seems biased and self-seeking. You ever hear words like nonpartisan, objectives? These are catchwords that they use to describe the organizations involved, and many of its members show their disdain for really helping the public. Brothers and sisters, we are dealing with a situation here where money controls it all. If OPEC is getting ready to pull that money out of the United States banks, and I'm talking well over $1 trillion, isn't it sad, but yet it's realistic, that this government would say 5,000 people just got to die. 6,000 people just have to die. It's easier to kill 6,000 people than to have them take $1 trillion out of this country. In other words, it takes a heartless people to come up with that. But again, brothers and sisters, back what I said last week, it's called crisis creation. You see, people, again, and by the way, in case y'all didn't know it, Bush just so happened to have frozen the bank accounts of these OPEC countries. How do you freeze the bank account except you must create a crisis? Why would anybody want to crash planes into the World Trade Center? You see, in police work, we have this thing called, well, they have this thing, I ain't in it no more. They have this thing called motive, opportunity. All that stuff plays an important part here. What would be the motive of Muslims crashing a plane into the World Trade Center? For what? Ain't got no motive. Because y'all are the devils in the world? Well, heck, we've been devils in the world for the longest. Something had to happen to cause such a tragedy. So, we must stage an event that will be so monumental that will give the president the privilege and the opportunity to create Emergency War Powers Act. And when the president does that, what does he do? The first thing he does is he goes and freezes these people's assets. You can't pull your money out of this country. And the real tragedy here, people, is innocent people, innocent Americans, are parading down streets, holding signs up, talking about no war, peace, peace, no fear, we don't want to go to war. That's all smoke screens. human life into a smoke screen to cover your filthy agenda. Who really owns and runs America? The people who got the money. And I want you to know the United States ain't the people. We are broke as we can be. The United States has been broke for a long time. That's why Alan Greenspan is such a powerful man. Alan Greenspan said, y'all need some money? Fine, I'll print up some more money. But you gotta understand, I'm gonna put interest on every, I'm gonna put 32-cent interest on every dollar I'll print up for you guys. So that means every dollar bill that they print, the United States owns the Federal Reserve 32 cents on it. Where are we gonna get the money from? Where are they gonna get $40 billion from? Y'all see our predicament, people? Now that you're, I hope, learned something in this. Now that you've learned something, go educate others. Because we got ignorant black folk who love their president and are ready to go die for a heartless people. And I know what I'm saying is dangerous, but I got to tell the truth. See, you know, it's amazing, y'all. All my life I was raised saying stuff like, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. If the Lord wants somebody, here am I. Oh Lord, send me. And all my life, even though I was singing that, the only thing I was going forth and telling was the program that they had programmed into me to program into you.
Yep.
And guess what? That's not dangerous.
Yep.
Of course, you get rich doing that. But that song has meaning when it says, Lord, I'll go telling the truth, even if they don't want to hear it, even if it costs my life. We can say that. Even if it costs my life, Lord, I'm going all the way.
Not Lord.
Shucks. And we some chicken-hearted folks. I'm a soldier in the army of the... What's your warfare? Look at the person next to him and ask him, what is your warfare? Since you're such a soldier, what have you been warring against since you're a soldier? Got my war clothes on. As soon as somebody lie on you, you're ready to give up.
Okay, the work's been done. Take the car to the buyer and don't let another organization get in the way.
Oh, brothers and sisters, I tell you. For those of you who still go to the bar, what you hear at the bar, or what you hear in the beauty parlor, or the barbershop, that's the realm of our experience as a people. And unfortunately, the one place that most of us go where we ought to be taught, most preachers ain't doing it. So we're stuck right where we were. Oh, come on, people. Do an inventory of yourself. And ask yourself the question, okay, I'm 35 years old. Been in the church all my life. What am I learning at this point in my life that I didn't learn at 5 years old? Ask yourself that question. If you can't add any more than you learned your first 5 years of Sunday school, then you need to get your tail up out of that place and go somewhere where you can learn. I know, I ain't talking to y'all, I'm talking to folks looking at me on television. Everybody say this, big oil and big banks spell big trouble for the world. Now I want y'all to see how this thing works, people. couple of weeks ago. What tragedy happened? Y'all tell me. World Trade Center was destroyed, right? The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center was destroyed. And you know what they told us? They told us that the Arabs did this. They told us that Muslims did this. That's what they told us. But nobody ever asked, why would Arabs want to do that? Like, why would Arabs want to destroy the World Trade Center? Because they're terrorists. And that ain't answering the question. Because I don't know any terrorists greater than the United States of America. I don't know it. I mean that. What would make them, the Muslims, destroy? So we got to look. Everybody say this. We must learn to see the reality behind the appearance. Did y'all grab that? We must learn to see the reality behind the appearance. It should come as no surprise. Now, brothers and sisters, hear what I'm about to drop on y'all. This thing is deep. I'm a little tired today because I didn't get much sleep. This thing had me so charged, I didn't go to bed till almost 5 o'clock this morning. Just preparing this message because it's that awesome. Check this out. 2 of the 10 largest banks in the world are affiliated with 12 oil companies. I'm going to talk slow so you can do the math now as I speak. 2 of the 10 largest banks in the world are affiliated with 12 oil companies. Those 2 banks are Citicorp and Chase Manhattan Bank. These banks, follow this people, these banks have become tightly woven and interwoven with OPEC. Now, for those of you who don't know what OPEC is, OPEC, I'm sure you might have heard it, it stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. In other words, these are the countries that got the oil. Now, because of this, it's only natural, follow this people, it's only natural that these United States banks, if all of your money in the bank is from an OPEC country, who is your allegiance going to be to? The United States or OPEC? You got that right. So what we're dealing with here is these United States banks don't have an allegiance to the United States, but rather to the international community. Now, let's create a hypothesis, even though it's not far from a hypothesis. Did you hear what I just said? All right. Just suppose that OPEC decided to pull its money out of United States banks. Now, if they pulled out every cent deposited in big United States banks, it would spell disaster for this country. Well, like I said, it ain't that far from a hypothesis. OPEC had planned to do that. Now you understand why, when George Bush came into office, the first person he immediately had a meeting with was Alan Greenspan, the director of the Federal Reserve. You see, they had to talk about how they're going to compensate for all of this money being snatched out of United States banks. Y'all with me? Y'all ain't getting scared of me now, are you? Okay, all right. Now, it's difficult for us to understand just how powerful these oil countries and international bankers are in terms of wealth. But you got to understand something, people. Y'all ever hear the phrase say, money talks? Yeah. In the end, it ain't got nothing to do with your patriotism. Now, when it comes to banks, banks are in the business of making money, not being patriotic. And it's money that talks and motivates and controls the actions of nations. I'm going to blow y'all's mind with this. 90%. What did I just say to you? 90% of OPEC's money is on deposit in United States banks. Now see, we can't relate to that because most of us are broke. The most we can do is try to get some kind of an imaginative idea of what we're talking about here. But when I say 90% of OPEC's money is on deposit in the United States Bank, I'm talking about over $1 trillion. I didn't say millions. I did not say billions. I said over $1 trillion is on deposit in major United States banks by OPEC countries. Yeah, buddy. Now, so you'll understand how this works. It's deep here because the OPEC countries got their money on deposit in the United States, but the United States is not a member of OPEC. Y'all starting to see problems now, aren't you? What countries are OPEC members? Algeria, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait. I ain't wonder why we've been doing so much bombing. Libya, Nigeria. How many of y'all have heard about the shell situation going on in Nigeria with the Ongami people there? Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. These are all OPEC countries. Now, mind you, brothers and sisters, hear what I'm about to tell you. Saudi Arabia by itself is the nation with the most deposits in United States banks. Saudi Arabia has the most investments in commercial real estate in this country. Saudi Arabia has the most investments in United States government securities. Now, how did the United States allow itself?
Well done out there. The money's in the bank.
How did that happen? Well, you got to understand. Let's go back and let's do some history here. In 1973, the OPEC nations raised their prices some 400%. I don't know how many of y'all remember the gas prices back then. Now, you got to understand, money started, falling in on them people because we paid the prices. The oil, their income soared from $29 billion in 1973 to $100 billion in 1974. Oil that sold for $2.59 a barrel in 1973 was suddenly selling for $10.95 in 1974. Now, compare $10.95 in 1974 to today. Imagine how much higher it is now. You don't have to, if you don't know that, just compare your gas and heating bill today to what it used to be. Now, with such a windfall and billions of dollars, these Arabs didn't know what to do with their money. They sit around meeting, what shall we do with our money? So guess who ran to their aid? The United States government. The United States, because of their greed, said, we'll tell you what to do with it. Put it in our banks. The United States rushed over and talked them into putting it in their banks, and suddenly, banks that used to be nationally minded are now called international banks. And they became internationally minded. And with this lust for money, their newfound pot of gold at the end of the Arab rainbow, the big banks urged the United States government to follow this thing, people. The big banks told the United States government, don't oppose OPEC. Don't fight it. They want to raise their prices, don't y'all say nothing. Let the people complain, but y'all better not complain. Yeah, buddy. Oh, people, this thing is deep. By 1985, the Arab oil-producing bloc of nations had, now notice I said, by 1985. By 1985, the Arab-producing country, oil-producing countries had deposited $1 trillion in the United States Bank. This is 2001. Now, here's the problem, y'all. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few big banks in the United States, whose ultimate power is or may be held by Middle East nations, spells control. Dig this. As I told you, 90% of OPEC's oil money has been handled by 6 banks in the United States. Now, when I say this, it's going to really blow your mind. 6 banks in the United States have handled over 90% of OPEC's oil money, and 5 of those banks is in New York. And where do you think those 5 banks are? World Trade Center facility. Making sense now? See, here's the problem, people. This is the type of control that determines who's going to become the president of this country. It ain't your fault. I'm trying to tell you that. Y'all run out there and getting upset because they ain't counting your vote. If they did count it, it wouldn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do anyhow. This is the type of control that sets and determines the limits of power. This is the kind of control that could strip away any limits of power and make possible a dictatorship. This is the kind of control that's paving the way for a new world order and also a new marking system, which the book of Revelation calls the mark of the beast. Now, if you just look back in history a little bit, you can get an inkling of what I'm talking about. What happens when an oil-producing company decides to withdraw their money from the United States? Well, in the fall of 1978, now mind you, it didn't happen. It was just rumored that it was going to happen. Somebody put out the rumor that Kuwait was getting ready to withdraw $2 billion from the United States. Well, if they had done that, it would have caused the stock market to crash and all that kind of stuff.
We basically saw that.
Such withdrawal would have caused financial panic in this country. And the administration of that day, and by the way, the president at that time was a man known as James Earl Carter. Y'all know him as Jimmy Carter. James Earl Carter, President Jimmy Carter, check this, people, quickly bought up $30 billion worth of dying U.S. dollars on the world market in order to stabilize our predicament. That's why these presidents leave office with such gray hair. When it turned out that Kuwait was not withdrawing its money, it was only a rumor. The rumor touched off near financial disaster in this country. On November 14, 1979, Iran announced, what country did I just say? Iran announced that it was going to pull its billions of dollars from the United States. Same president, President Jimmy Carter, acted quickly, and guess what Jimmy Carter did, y'all? He declared a national emergency. Now, why did he do that? Follow this. Jimmy Carter, when Iran announced it was pulling its money out of the United States banks, Jimmy Carter declared a national emergency. And you know why he did that? Because the only way
and this one here is the one I really wanted y'all to hear. Biggest dressed lie. Here we go.
the message for today is undressing a well-dressed lie. Okay? Undressing a well-dressed lie. Many years ago, my dad, and when I say my dad, I mean my uncle, really, who raised me. He was my father image in my life. Many years ago, he told me about an allegory. What did I just say? An allegory, which means that what he shared with me did not really happen, but it is a story concept to teach a lesson. He shared with me this allegory about the truth and the lie going swimming. Some of you might have heard that before. That the truth and the lie were out swimming one day.
Out swimming one day.
And the lie said to the truth, let me see how far you can swim underwater. So while truth was underwater swimming, lie took advantage of the time that the truth couldn't see what was going on and jumped out of the water and grabbed his clothes, grabbed truth's clothes, and put them on and were running down the street. So people who saw the lie with truth's clothes on running down the street said, that looked like the truth.
Look like.
Running down the street.
Because he had the truth's clothes on.
In the meantime, truth got out and saw that lie had taken his clothes and gave chase after the lie. And the folks saw truth come running down the street a little bit later and said, yeah, but here comes the naked truth.
And that's basically what I give y'all people. Naked truth of this lie. I'm trying to tell you. That's why my station is the truth of the truth, period. Fuck all the bullshit. Because we are the descendants from the truth. From the two true people of the beginning of this here turning into a lie.
Same allegory and put it in a time frame. So you're not just looking at an allegory, but let's see the applicability of this allegory. From somewhere around 500 years AD to about 1500 years AD, about a 1,000-year period.
Ooh, thank you.
The Roman Catholic Church.
Ooh, thank you.
Europeans, Roman Empire, Greco-Roman Empire. For almost 1,000 years, they hid truth. They suppressed the truth. They reconstructed the truth. They reshaped the truth. They plagiarized the truth. All for the purpose of introducing what they did as a well-dressed lie. Brothers and sisters, in ancient times, Europe, meaning the Greeks and the Romans, loved and even practiced the African system of spirituality. In fact, the whole world knew that the only system of spirituality was the African system of spirituality.
And spirituality was all about that woman.
Those details on the vehicle should be with you. Get it and bring it in for storage. All repairs are charged to the company.
The Roman Empire, under the disguise of what is now called the Roman Catholic Church, instituted a program of rulership for the Christianizing of the European mind and subsequently the African mind. This program that the Roman Catholic Church instituted was called the Dark Ages. Historians refer to it as medieval Europe. As long as the world was conscious of the greatness of the spirituality of African people, the Euro-Gentile Roman Catholic Church, and when I say the Roman Catholic Church, brothers and sisters, that's just the modern-day version of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire still exists, it's just now called the Roman Catholic Church, that's all. The Roman Catholic Church or Empire could not secure and maintain control over the masses as long as the world was conscious of the spirituality of African people. Are y'all following what I'm saying? So what did they have to do? The Roman Catholic Church, the Greco-Romans, had to literally eradicate all visible traces of the wisdom of the ancient African teachings. Therefore, Europe was deliberately and intentionally forced into what is known as the Dark Ages for the sole purpose of removing from Europe the awareness and memory of Africa and its greatness. Y'all following what I'm saying? The result was to eternally fuel the flames of racism and portray Africa as a pagan, savage, satanic, and lost culture that needed to be saved by a redeemer that was conceived in the minds of a group of Catholic bishops and birthed at the Council of Nicaea in the year 325 AD. That's some deep stuff. Here you have a people that everything the world knows it got from them. And now the Roman Catholic Church wants to portray these people and their culture as satanic, evil, ungodly, pagan, and in need of a savior. And what's deep about it is it looked like if they wanted to say you need a savior, it looked like they would have at least gotten a savior that was the same color as those people. But no, that wasn't what they wanted to do. Their savior had to look like them.
help?
given birth.
Thank you.
In the
A helicopter
4th
has been
century.
dispatched to your
I
area.
know many of you who grew up Bible-based don't understand that and have a hard time believing that. No. What you mean in the 4th century? No, Jesus came along in the 1st century. See, that's the lie. The best dressed lie
We got you
in the
covered.
history of the world. From 325 AD over the next, now follow this timeline here, follow this time frame. Over the next 126 years, the Roman Catholic Church would hold council meetings to literally manufacture and institute a religion that became the best dressed lie in the history of the world. That religion is what we now know today as Christianity. I know that slaps some of us. Believe it or not, even though I know better, I still feel the repercussions of it myself when I say it. Because so much of my life was spent into the best dressed lie that the world has ever known. The Council of Nicaea in the year 325 AD lasted for 2 months and 12 days. 318 Catholic bishops were present. There's a creed that comes from this council. Many of you who have studied theology or whatever, you may know it as the Nicene Creed. The Nicene Creed was actually established to create in the minds of the masses that Jesus is, in fact, not only the Son of God, but God. And also, the fixing and keeping of the date of Easter was all established at the Nicene Council. Let me read to you, some of you may already know this, but others of you may not. So let me read to you the Nicene Creed, which was again made up in the 4th century. Here's what it says. We believe in one God, the Father of all, maker of all things, both seen and unseen. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah, see, that's how they catch you, y'all. That's the whole thing about hooking you with the right bait.
With the right bait.
That opening sentence is the truth. It's the second sentence where they inject their error. And in one Lord, Jesus Christ, the Son, capital S-O-N, of God. The only begotten from the Father, that is from the substance of the Father, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made. Begotten, not made. With the Father, through whom and for our salvation he came down and became incarnate. Became
all right,
human.
we are good on that one. If you want to source another vehicle, come by the office.
Y'all hear it? Suffered and rose up on the 3rd day, went up into the heavens, is coming to judge the living and the dead, and in the Holy Spirit. And that was the end of the Nicene Creed until they had to go back and add some more to it. Later on, they had a council to declare the divinity of the Holy Ghost. Now, this first council was in 325 AD. You with me? Look at these dates, y'all. 56 years later, they had to hold another council meeting because their lie wasn't complete. Still had some holes in it. So they held another council meeting in 381 AD called the First Council of Constantinople, named after Constantine. Pope Damasus and Emperor Theodosius I was at this council and spearheaded. It was attended by 150 bishops, and it was at this council that they had to come up with the doctrine making the Holy Spirit God. Now, mind you now, at the Council of Nicaea, they made Jesus God. Now, they understand God is already God, the creator of all, right? So they had to make up this Trinity, but they couldn't do it all at one time, and they had to keep going back and adding on and adding on. So in 381, they came up with the First Council of Constantinople, where they came up with the doctrine of what we call in theology today pneumatology, the study of the Holy Spirit. At the Council of Constantinople, they added to the Nicene Creed that they made up in 325 AD. And here's the rest of what they added to the Nicene Creed. It says, and those who say there was once when he was not, and before he was begotten he was not, and that he came from things that were not, or from another hypostasis or substance, affirming that the Son of God is subject to change or alteration, these, the Catholic and Apostolic Church, anathematizes. I love the way they use that word. They use that word, we anathematize you, like folk really knew what it meant. And guess what, y'all? Some people today still don't know what it means. Now, I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because the anathematization of a person means that this particular organization or group has cast you out. Not only have they cast you out, but they have also put out a death warrant on you. People don't want to be anathematized. So therefore, they try to do everything they can to comply with the wishes of the Roman Catholic Church. Do y'all not know that the Roman Catholic Church has trained us so well that right now today we still carry out anathematizing somebody?
After what we put into this one, we don't want it to go wrong. Take the car to the sale, and if another crew comes after it, do everything you can to stop them.
If somebody comes up to you with a different doctrine than you believe, you want to anathematize them. You want to put them down. You want to destroy them. You want to call them Antichrist. You want to call them, now you ain't really a child of God. Look at the person next to you and say, who gave you the right to decide who God accepts and who God rejects? Well, as though that wasn't enough, 50 years later, just 50 years later, after the First Council of Constantinople, they had another council meeting called the Council of Ephesus. Sound familiar? This was in 431 AD. Now, why do they keep holding these council meetings? Because they still got that, there you go. See, remember now, the lie is dressing up here. You follow what I'm saying? They got to go back and be, see, in other words, have you ever been shopping and bought a suit or a dress, and then when you went to put it on, it wasn't fitting exactly right? Oh, no, pants are too short, Oh, no, you didn't take it up enough, or the sleeves are too long, da-da-da-da. Well, see, this is what happens when you fabricate a belief system. When people go to put it on, it doesn't fit. So in 431, the Council of Ephesus, attended by more than 200 Catholic bishops, they had the responsibility of not only coming up with a doctrine to promote what is called the triune God. Y'all heard that doctrine before, right? 1 for the Father, 2 for the Son, 3 for the Holy Ghost. They all make one. There you go. The triune or unity of the Godhead was fabricated at the Council of Ephesus. And not only that, another thing was done at the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD. This lady named Mary. The Catholic Church did announces that Mary was Jesus' mother. And not only was she his mother, but she is also the quote title that the Catholic Church uses, the Mother of God. Came into existence at the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD. And of course they added in their prayer thereafter, Holy Mary, what? Mother of God. That's some deep stuff, man. A human being, the Mother of God. Now, what year was this again? 431.
Okay, we did it. That one's going on the balance sheet for next quarter.
The Dark Ages began in the year 500. So do y'all see the build up here? It's called putting stuff in place, y'all. Now, after the Council of Ephesus in 431, the Roman Catholic Church met with resistance. But they didn't meet with resistance from Africans. They met with resistance from some other white folk. They couldn't have that. You see, there were some white people who had learned the ways of the African value system and spirituality of the Africans. These white folk lived in Ireland, and they were called the Druids. So after the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD, the Druids, white folks, started telling everybody these other white folk ain't telling y'all the truth. And the Roman Catholic Church could not afford to let that happen. So the same Pope that oversaw the Council of Ephesus, Pope Celestine I, in 431 AD at the Council of Ephesus, 1 year later in 432 AD, went and got an ex-British slave whose name was Patrick, and commissioned him and gave him military support to go into Ireland and get rid of these white people who won't stand down. Follow this thing here now. I want you, Patrick, to go into Ireland, and of course, we were taught in history that Patrick went into Ireland to get rid of the snake people. In fact, he is traditionally known as the man who drove the snakes out of Ireland. And everybody, especially if you hate snakes, you appreciate Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland. And you know we don't like snakes. So therefore, when you hear that Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, you say, oh, he did a good thing. Well, no, he did not do a good thing. Because actually he didn't drive no snakes out of Ireland, people. He drove the Druids, who happened to wear the headdress of the ancient Camite people with the cobra on the front, or the Uranus it was called. So because they wore the cobra on their headdress, they were called the snake people. They weren't snake people, they were white people who had learned African spirituality. Patrick went in under the auspices of the Roman Catholic Church, sanctioned by Pope Celestine I, and drove the Druids out of Ireland. Now, how did he do it? By driving them into the water? No, he didn't drive them into the water. He slaughtered hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so SecuroServe couldn't get the car's present location, but they got a picture of its last sighting. It's on the way to you now. Try to narrow down the location from the pic, get the car, and bring it into the warehouse.
To have their way. Slaughter all these Druids, because as long as they were alive, they were a formidable resistance against the Roman Catholics. So he drove them out and set up over 300 300 churches, Catholic churches report. Yes, people say, why are you so hard against Catholicism? Because they're the ones who created this mess.
Yep.
I'm just acknowledging what they did. I really don't give a cheesecake about chapter after church. But see, brothers and sisters, I gotta undress the lie. You understand what I'm saying? So he drove them out and established over 300 churches, and guess what Pope Celestine did? He honored this man and canonized him a saint.
Killing all them people.
The Roman Catholic Church decreed him a saint. And right now, every year, your children go to school and make these little green, what do you call them, shamrocks, walking down the street with a green shamrock hat on, celebrating a mass murder on St. Patrick's Day. Next time you see your child getting ready to participate, educate them. Help them understand that you are celebrating a mass murderer, baby. Don't make that stuff. And if the school tries to make them make it, let us know. All right, that wasn't enough. After the Druid massacre, the resistance of other Europeans was out the way. So now they had to do one more thing. In 451 AD, 19 years later, after the Druid massacre, they held another council meeting called the Council of Chalcedon. Oh, brothers and sisters, y'all gotta understand, I got to undress this lie and show you that it is not as good looking as it wants to make you believe it is. You ever see folks who look good when they're dressed up? You know, it'd be like the man who saw his sister at a banquet. He said, oh my God, she looked good. Woo! Lost his mind. She was shaped just right. Hair, teeth looked like a set of pearls. Eyes glimmered when he looked at her. Got to know her a little better. Asked her to marry him. He was very impressed. After the reception, got to the honeymoon suite. Sister pulled those pearls out of her mouth. Put them in a dinner plate dish. She reached up in her eyes and took out those dream eyes that he had been looking in. She reached down in her outfit and snatched out those hips that had her so shapely. And the hair that looked like strings of silk, she pulled it out, set it down, and she stepped out and said, ta-da! Brother ran out the room. The lie can be dressed in such a way to where you want it. Then God has to send somebody to undress the lie so you can see it for what it really is. And ain't nothing as bad as to understand how something really looks after you done asked it to marry you. Bad state to be in. You done said for better or for worse now. You didn't know the worst was coming that quick though, did you? 150 bishops under the leadership of another Pope, Pope Leo. This council was to kind of put pretty much the lie in place by actually defining that not only was Jesus Christ the Son of God, but it was at the Council of Chalcedon in 451 AD that the Roman Catholic Church came up with the doctrine that Jesus is truly a human being and truly God. In theology and seminary, Bible college, we're taught that it is the dual nature of Christ. That's some deep stuff, man. You know, I think back to all that training they put in my head, and all while I was being programmed, I never stopped to ask, when did this come into existence?
Nah.
I just accepted
the
appearance of the lie that it always was. At the Council of Chalcedon in 451 AD, these Roman Catholic bishops made a decree. I want to read an excerpt of their decree to you. Here's what it says, and I quote, "Since we have formulated these things with all possible accuracy and attention, this sacred and universal synod decrees that no one is permitted to produce or even to write down or compose any other creed or to think or teach otherwise." Did y'all grab what I just said? Look at the person that you say, now that's control. Let me read it to you one more time. In fact, I'm going to just get right to what I have in bold letters here. They decreed at the Council of Chalcedon, Roman Catholic Church, in 451 AD, it says that no one is permitted to produce or even to write down or compose any other creed or to think or teach.
We're adding that card to your database. You want to add to the collection? Log back onto SecuroServe at the office.
And then it goes on to say, well, what happened? Well, check this out. This is some deep stuff, y'all. It says, as for those who dare either to compose another creed or even to promulgate or teach or hand down another creed, check this out now. For those who wish to convert to a recognition of the truth. Let me read it again. See, you need to have this so you can see it yourself. You know, what I encourage you to do is go on the internet, pull up Council of Chalcedon. That's spelled C-H-A-L-C-E-D-O-N. Council, C-O-U-N-C-I-L, of Chalcedon. And you can read this for yourself. It's right there. And it says that anybody who tries to teach another creed for those who wish to convert to a recognition of the truth. And that right there tells you they know they lying. That's right here, people. For those who wish to convert to a recognition of the truth from Hellenism or from Judaism. If they be bishops or clerics, the bishops are to be deposed from the episcopacy, and the clerics from the clergy. If they be monks or lay folks, they are to be anathematized. So what that's saying here is, if somebody walks up and says, listen, I want to look into some other concepts here. I want to verify if this is true or not. And somebody says, okay, well, let me help you examine all of the evidences out there. It says you can't even do that. Somebody who's looking for the truth, you can't even help them find the truth. That's some deep stuff. Untrust that lie, Pastor. I'm trying to to take the clothes off of it. So you can understand this thing, people, because we have been messed with. We have been hoodwinked. Gotta get nice, you know. And it's deep because, you know, as I was listening to our brother this morning in the studio, and I asked if y'all might have heard me, I said, brother, what brought about your consciousness? Because you grew up here in St. Louis. And y'all think I'm lying. See, y'all are from here, so you don't really grab the depth of what I'm telling you. But I ain't seen a city like this one. I ain't lying. I have never seen a place like this. The spirit of Catholicism got black folks here messed up. Brother Blumenthal, he was raised in, grew up in Calvary Church, and they were sending him to be a priest. But somebody undressed the lie. Somebody undressed the lie. And the Catholic Church lost what would have been a warrior for Catholicism. Well, brothers and sisters, follow this now. Here we got 451 Chalcedon, where they made this ruling that nobody can even think something other than what the Roman Catholic Church said is. For the next 1,000 years, the Roman Catholic Church seized and impounded the truth from the masses. In fact, guess what, y'all? The only people who were allowed to have books were the Catholic priests. Wow. The Catholic priests said they will dispense to the masses what they think the masses need to know.
Nah, there go you guys and Jesus.
The Roman Catholic Church had actually created an absence of reliable historical information. It was during this period, that something called the transatlantic slave trade kicked in. Oh yeah, let me tie this thing in here now so you can really see how we've been messed over. Everybody say the Great Rebirth. Great Rebirth. Now what in the world is that, Pastor? Well, about 1500 AD, the Europeans had what they called the Great Rebirth. Hear this now. The Great Rebirth. The French had a word for it, and it's called Renaissance. After the Roman Catholic Church had formulated the best dressed lie in the history of the world, they now were ready to present their lie through a program called the Renaissance. Renaissance is the name of the so-called great intellectual and cultural movement of a created interest no longer in Africa, but now the focus of created interest was Europe. You see, 1,000 years earlier, it was all about Africa. Even white folk love Africa. They still do. Yes, they do. They still do. All you got to do is turn on Discovery Channel or TLC, and you'll see them right now in Africa, still over there trying to find the answer to why they exist. That's what it's about, people. And what's deep about it is it amazes me
that is
how
what
they
it's
can
about.
go into Africa.
That is all it's about. That's all it's about. Why do they exist? They wouldn't be trying to start the Big Bang Theory all over again, which that theory of the Big Bang is just a fucked up theory. Because I know it was a bang, but it was no bang that they talking about with they fucked up theory. It was no explosion of destruction. It was an explosion of creation. It's that orgasm. Whew. Is the reason why all of this.
An evil grave like that. Here they want to go on holy ground.
something like that. And orgasm never is. As the Creator creating itself all out of nothing but fear of being alone.
According to the biblical record, God told Moses, take off your shoes. Because the ground you stand on holy. And let me tell y'all, Moses was not in Europe. If he had existed. Libraries. Now mind you, after this 1,000-year period of restructuring the truth, after this 1,000-year period of hiding, suppressing the truth, and plagiarizing it, and introducing their best-dressed lie, libraries were founded.
Come on now.
On the best-dressed lie.
On the best-dressed lie, baby.
Of European religious,
Y'all don't want to believe me. I believe y'all might believe him.
For the study of Greek and Latin.
Because some of the stuff that he's telling you is definitely the truth. And I know it is.
And many other towns.
Or I wouldn't be on here telling some of this shit to you.
Dressed lie. Pope Nicholas V spearheaded a new movement and laid the foundation of the Great Vatican Collection, it's called, based on the best-dressed lie in the history of the world. Everybody say the Augsburg Confession. Now, this took place in 1530, y'all. 1530. What year did I just say?
1530.
In the year 1530, we have what's called the Augsburg Confession. Keep in mind, I said 1530. What year did the Bible that y'all carry come out? 1611, exactly. So you see, y'all, how this whole program was put in place. So by the time King Jimmy came along, and ordered the printing of his Bible. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell y'all about the Gutenberg printing press, which was made in 1445. So you got to understand, the Gutenberg printing press, even though it's a German name, y'all, Gutenberg was a German Catholic under the influence of the Roman Catholic Church. So they used his printing presses to dispense their lie. In 1530, Charles V, Emperor of the Roman Empire, called the princes and cities of the German territories at Augsburg together. There was a guy by the name of Philip Melanchthon. Philip Melanchthon, spelling is Melanchthon. By the way, Philip was a very good friend of a guy named Martin Luther. I ain't talking Martin Luther King either. I said 1530, y'all. The white guy who they didn't know no better and they named Dr. Martin Luther King after him. Ain't that deep? They thought their parents, but his parents didn't know no better, you know. Philip was called upon by Charles V, Emperor of the Roman Empire, check this out, y'all, to draft a confession. To draft a confession that would be implemented as doctrine. It's called the Augsburg, A-U-G-S-B-U-R-G. A-U-G-S-B-U-R-G, the Augsburg Confession. Go to the internet, look it up, and see what comes up, and here's what it says. This confession that this one man named Philip Melanchthon wrote and put it together and gave it to the emperor, and here's what it says. I'm just going to read some excerpt from it. It says, Most invincible emperor, Caesar Augustus, most clement Lord, inasmuch as your imperial majesty has summoned us here to Augsburg, that, check this out now, that we would submit the articles of our confession from our side on next Wednesday. Therefore, in obedience the confession of our preachers and of ourselves, showing what manner of doctrine from the Holy Scriptures has been up to this time and taught in our churches. According to the said imperial proposition, check this out. Gotta catch myself. I said that before my face said, yeah. Check this out, people. According to the said imperial proposition, we ought to confess the one Christ after the tenor of your imperial majesty's edict. That's some deep stuff. When the emperor says, this is what you better write in that confession, and you write it, don't take my word for it, go read it for yourself and undress the lie in your own mind. You see, brothers and sisters, with this kind of lie dressed up, see, most of us don't know anything about the clothes, the article of clothing that I just described to y'all. Most of our people don't know the first thing about the First Council of Constantinople. Most of our people don't know anything about the Council of Nicaea. Most of our people don't know anything about the Council of Ephesus. And yet they want to get on the radio and confront you and tell you don't know what you're talking about. Don't know anything about the Druids massacre. Don't know anything about the Council of Chalcedon. All of these articles of the lie. Don't know anything about the whole program of the Dark Ages or the Augsburg Confession. When all this stuff is put in place hundreds of years ago, and then you are born into it, you think that which your parents gave you is the truth. Because their parents gave them the lie. Whose parents gave them the lie. In fact, y'all, when they snatched us out of Africa, they gave us the lie. The lie has been running all over the world for centuries. And a lot of you who have grown up with the lie, just like in the analogy I started out with, some of you said, that looks like the truth. And that's why you accepted it. Because it looked like the truth, even though in your African selves, many of you knew something wasn't right with it.
Nah.
But you accepted it because you ain't know nothing else to deal with.
Right.
In fact, some of y'all, deep in your African spirit, told you this ain't cool. And so you start singing a song to yourself. The failure's not in God, it's in me. The failure's not in God,
yeah, it's not in me. It's not in me.
Y'all know we did it. Y'all know we did it. Your African Holy Ghost inside you was telling you something about this ain't right. But you made yourself adapt to the lie. And the thing about it is when the lie doesn't work, that you think is the truth. And the more you go through changes in your life, calling on the lie.
Yeah, calling on the lie.
It's going to set you free. And you start going through more hell, you sing it out.
It's in me. Tell him, preach. Tell him, yeah, you tell the truth. We believe that God.
You ain't got any problems. All you need is faith in God.
No. That's what we're telling you. No.
Yes, the lie has been running all over the world for centuries, but guess what? I got something to tell y'all.
Yeah, wake him up.
Here comes the naked truth now.
Yeah, the naked truth.
Here come the naked truth now. Oh yeah. And the naked truth has finally
Caught up with the lie. Caught up with the lie.
the masses are starting to see the lie.
Yep.
Be undressed.
Be undressed.
And it's deep, y'all, when you look at the lie and you say, "Ooh, I thought you was the truth." When you start seeing it for what it really is, you start understanding the history of the people who gave you the lie in the first place. Yeah.
Nobody don't want to hear me. They don't want to hear me tell them what the truth is. Maybe they might listen to somebody that's been through a whole bunch of the lies.
In history. Now, it's fitting for many of us. As I've heard many of you say, I knew something wasn't right. But you know what's even worse than that? Not so much us.
It's them.
Liars.
Yep. Children. Yeah. Yep.
Great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren
See it, they see it.
are also starting to see that they lie.
They lie.
And because
These supplies are on the move. Bring down the transport before they fly out of state and you can salvage the hardware. We've allocated a technical aqua for your use.
To go into the priesthood. For two reasons.
Hello, you're through to Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help? Great. The aircraft is waiting for you at our nearest airfield. We trust you'll be happy, sir.
People ain't buying that stuff. I gotta do what? Nah, I don't think so. No. And the second reason is because their youth are coming to grips with the reality that their parents misled the world. And they're taking it out on their own parents. That's why you see young white kids taking a gun and going up in their school and just start shooting at everybody because they're saying, "You lied to me." What is there to put my trust in? So now you come to understand that the truth is that the lie is being undressed. Look at the person next to you, say, the rest is up to you. Y'all understand that? Don't put your faith, brothers and sisters, in a lie. Especially when you come to realize how the lie has been put in place. Don't put your faith in that. That's what has held us down as a people. That's why we're in the condition we're in as a people, because we've been believing the lie. And you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free.
I'm just saying, people, truth is the truth, period. And then you look at, it's all about not what you believe in, it's about what you know. Because your belief system was really fucked off when you was a child. Because when you was taught to believe in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Tooth Fairy, right there, that's the bullshit that started it off. After I do this intermission here, I'm gonna call it quits for the day. Not really call it quits for the day, but I'm just saying, call it a new broadcast. Like I said, it's my documentary of my life. And how much creative change it wants. I will show about to create what to know, not what to believe. car thing was kind of bad. Oh, that's why. That one had the peel. Well, I couldn't make it look pretty. It had that peel. But I got it now. Yeah. Well, man. Trying to cheat me out that kill, huh? All right. That's what. Out. Thank you. That helps. Man, my plan. I kill these two, huh? Like I said, can't people choose the truth, period. Fuck all that bullshit. I ain't here to bullshit nobody. You wanna let y'all know what the truth really is, so y'all can know the truth for yourself. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. Power is in you to know. I love you more than you love you. All because loving, knowing the truth is love, unconditional the feeling. It is what it is. Keeping my archive. Way down here. To this point, I can't really reach to.
Ooh.